Hello students. Okay, so now we're going to look at these skills. We're going to look at 11. Find the missing value in the following similar figures. And with similar figures, we go straight forward to the strategy that we use, which is to identify corresponding sides. In this case, we need to figure this value. This is the one that we don't know. So what I need to do is identify what is the corresponding side on the other similar figure. And this is the corresponding side. Now I'm going to identify other corresponding sides like this. Great. That was my first step. My second step will be to set up the proportion. So that's what I'm going to do. And I will get started with the shape on where everything is given, which is the small shape. So I'm going to say when I have 6 inches in one side, on the other side I have 14 inches. And then I have to remember that if the proportions are set up correctly, they're gonna end up being the same colors in the same row. So you see how this is the unknown and it's in yellow, so it will be yellow to yellow. It will be here. And our corresponding sides are in one row. And the rows can be horizontal like this, or they can be vertical. In case you know a different way to set it up. Great. Now I'm going to set up the other value. The 58.8 corresponds to the 14 from the other similar figure. So then that one will be here. And that goes in blue. Now you see how I have blue to blue and yellow to yellow. That means my proportion is correct. What I'm going to do next is going to be my step number 3, and that's going to be the operations. To find the operations, I know I have to do cross product. So I'm going to have to multiply the two numbers that are across. And then at the end, divide by the other number that we haven't used yet. Okay, so the x, to find the x, I have to multiply two numbers across, which is 58.8 times the 6, and then divide by 14. I'm going to identify the colors. This is the 6 and the x. And I got the 58 because it was across with the 6. And that's what they ended up multiplying together. And then the 14 on the side. My next step will be to do the operations. Can you help me to do the operations? We're going to get started with this multiplication here. That is 58.8 times 6. When you multiply, one good strategy is to put the number with more digits on the top. Let's get started with the multiplication. 6 times 8, 48. 8 and we carry 4. 6 times 8, 48. 48 plus 4, that's 52. 2 and we carry 5. 6 times 5, 30. Plus 5, that's 35. Next step, check how many decimals you have in each factor. So here we have 1, here we have none, so the total is 1 decimal. From right to left, I move the decimal point 1 place. It will be like this. Great. My next step will be divide by the 14. So the x here says that's gonna be 352.8 because that's what we got in our multiplication, divided by the 14 that we have right there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to divide 352.8 divided by 14. Like that. Okay, 14 into 3 is smaller than 14, so we cannot do that. So the answer needs to be on top of the 5. I'm going to multiply 14 times what to get close to 35. And I think it can be 14 times 2, and I'm going to check. 14 times 2, that's going to be 4 times 2, that's an 8, and 2 times 1, that is a 2. That is 28. I'm still far behind from the 35. Let's see what happens if we multiply 14 times 3. Okay, this number is a 14. There. Okay, so let's multiply. 3 times 4, that's a 12. 2 and we carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, that's going to be 4. That would be 42. So that's more than 35. So we have to stick with the 2, right? Okay, and I'm going to put a number 4 here, guys, because this is an extension of step 4. We're doing the operations and we needed more space. Okay, so let's record our answer here. 14 times 2, we know is 28. We work it out right here. So we're going to do the subtraction. Can I subtract 5 minus 8? No. I have to do 35 minus 28. You see, since I don't have more digits before the 3, I'm just going to look at the whole 35. And I have 28. So from 25, how many more units do I need to get to 35? From 28 to 35. And the answer is 7. The next step would be bring down the 2 right here. And now I'm going to check 14 times what is close to 72. Since here I did already by 3 and I'm not getting to 72. I'm going to try by 5. 14 times 5. Can you help me to multiply? 5 times 4 is 20. 0 and we carry 2. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2. That is a 70. Oh, that is pretty close. So we can try the 5. We're going to put a 5 right here. Knowing that 14 times 5 is 70. We already worked it out. So we subtract that 70. And then we're going to have a 2. Great. Now behind the 2, I don't have the 8. Before I bring down the 8, what do I have to do? Take the decimal point to the top. Great. So this decimal point goes up right here. And now we bring down the 8. Awesome. Let's record our number here. And I like this one because we already worked it out. You see right here, that was the first one we did, 14 times 2. So we need to put a 2 right here. 14 times 2, that's 28. So here I'm going to put it horizontally. Minus 28 equals 0, no remainder. Awesome. So this value here, guys, this 25.2 is the value that we get when we divide 352.8 divided by 14, which is the value that we needed in here. I'm going to copy that value there. That's 25.2, and the units that we are using are inches. My pen didn't want to work very well, guys. There. I'm trying to write IN. A little bit better. Awesome. Okay, so our answer here should be 25.2 inches. Okay, and don't forget, guys, your steps to solve similar figures. First of all, identify corresponding side. That's your step number 1, right here. Step 2, set up your proportion. The corresponding sides must be with the same color in the same row, either side to side or up and down. Your third step, set up how you're gonna do your operations. Step 4, do your operations. Cross product, 58.8 times 6, and finally divide by the other number that you haven't used yet, which in this case is the 14. Make sure the answer is reasonable. This one must be a greater value than 6, and then record your answer. Awesome, guys. Thank you.